Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lisa and I like to read books on the internet. Today we are starting off episode 3 in my reading series I've already started, little mini series that I've been doing here on YouTube. And today I'm hoping, like I have been hoping for the past 2 episodes, to get at least 2 books read in this video. So I've made 2 previous episodes in this little mini series and both times I have barely managed to get 1 book read. It has been a struggle. I have been busy and have been neglecting reading a little bit, but this week I'm hoping to make it one of my main priorities. So today is Sunday and I'm hoping that by Saturday I have at least 2 books read that will help me get to my goal of ticking off series that I've already started to read. Now, a few vlogs back I made myself a little series tracker just using a Google Sheets, and I just have been keeping track of all the series that I've started and not yet finished. For whatever reason, for some they haven't released all the books and for others I just haven't gotten around to them. For example, you can see ACOTAR behind me here. I've only read the first one. That's not going to be one that we can tick off anytime soon. For this video, I'm hoping to focus on series that only have 1 or 2 books that I need to read in order to tick them off. So, first on the agenda is The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. This is the second in a duology. They're not really a series, they are interconnected standalones, but I added to the list because the main purpose of the tracker was mainly so I could keep track of all the worlds I have entered into and make sure that I am either ticking them off or axing them completely. So this is set in the same world as the cheat sheet. My previous video, actually I went through all the series that I'm in the middle of. I used my little tracker to just kind of tell you all the 16 different series that I'm in the middle of. This one was the last one that I put onto the list because I only added it after I picked this one up because I realised that it did fit my little boxes to be part of that. Now I know some people wouldn't think so, but that's fine. When I was talking about this book in that previous video, I think I said that the cheat sheet was a YA book, and I think I misspoke. I think what I meant was new adult rather than young adult. It's like closed door romance, a little bit of like a younger main character, but still an adult. So I think I maybe got those 2 mixed up. Anywho, this is the book that I've started today. I'm on page 46, so I have made a little bit of a dent in it. It's not a ginormous book by any means, but it's not too short either. It is about 350 pages, so that's a decent amount for today. I am going to continue reading into the evening, but I wanted to get this video started. This is my plan, this is my priority for the beginning of the week, and then I'm hoping that we can go on to a different book towards the end of the week. I will have to go back to my little tracker and see what would be a good idea. I'm also hoping to tackle my physical TBR. I'm pointing to my bookshelves behind me because they're the books at the front of my bookshelf. The initial thoughts on this book are that it seems like it's fun and easy. We kind of dove straight into the 2 main characters. We got to know them quite quickly. Like, I'm only 46 pages in, like I said, and I know a lot about their past. So our 2 main characters are actually exes, and he is a sports star, he is an NFL star, and she is a sports agent. And something happens where he's without an agent and she is the one who is nominated to be his new agent, and he has just reluctantly agreed to allow her to work for him. He was initially completely against it. They did not have a nice breakup. She did break up with him and he's still a little bit hurt by it. They broke up a good few years ago at this point. But she has convinced him. However, what she doesn't know is he has agreed to this because he plans on ruining her life or career or both if possible. So I'm interested to see how it goes. Obviously we're in a romance genre, so they're probably going to end up together. Not a spoiler, that's obvious. Shocker, but I'm interested to see how we get there because there's a lot of remorse from her for how she broke up with him. And I would like to dive deeper into the reasoning behind why they broke up because she hasn't really explained that one to us. It does kind of seem like she like rushed into this decision and maybe shouldn't have made this decision. She hasn't said that she regrets breaking up with him, but she has kind of mentioned in her chapters that she regrets how she did it. It is dual POV, so we are getting an insight into both of them, which will make for an interesting read when he is literally trying to make her life hell and she is just trying to do her job. So we can see how they react to each other. They've already started kind of flirting with each other. They were like setting out rules. I love when like a romance or like a forced proximity or second chance romance or something has like a list of rules, because they know that like it's not a good relationship. So while they were making out their little list of rules, they were kind of flirting already. So I would imagine it's going to be like a high tensions book for the most part. So I'm going to continue reading. My goal would be to get, I probably won't get to 100 pages tonight, but I would love to get like close to that, just so that I can stay on track for the week. So when I have like a goal of reading 2 books in a week on a Sunday, I do like to try to get ahead of that goal. Obviously today, I don't know why I'm still holding this up, today was, they're just blankets there by the way. Today was Father's Day, it still is, so I did spend a lot of time today with my dad, which is why I didn't get too far ahead. It is quite late on Sunday evening. It is almost 8 o'clock. Love Island is on at 9. So between now and 9, I do want to get myself freshened up and in my jammies and ready for that. And then any extra time I have before 9 o'clock, I will spend reading. So it just kind of depends how much I get done there. And then tomorrow I have a little bit of a busy morning, but then a very free rest of the day. So hopefully I can make a big dent in it then. And then I am kind of busy later on in the week, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. For now, I'm going to get myself cozy and in bed and continue reading the rule book. Okay, so it is the next day and I am on page 88 of the rule book. I am about, I think it's like a quarter of the way through. I have some thoughts that I would like to get off my chest. First of all, what is this piece of hair? The male main character's name is Derek, and that's an issue for me because it's just a terrible name for him. I don't like it. That's all I will say on that matter. The second thing, also regarding names, is I really hope we learn about the female main character's name and why it is what it is. So basically her name is Nora, and on her chapters it says Nora. The male main character, who obviously knew her in college, is calling her Nora, but everybody else calls her Mac. Her surname is Mackenzie, and she has just said in the last chapter that professionally she's known as Mac. But I want to know why did she do that? Because the male main character in his chapter mentioned that that was a nickname that was around like when he was her boyfriend, but she hated it. So I would like more information there, please and thank you. The book is kind of surprising me. It's not gone the way I thought it would, as in one of his chapters he said, oh, I let her be my agent so I can make her life miserable, and in the next chapter she very quickly copped on to the fact that he is acting a certain way in order to make her miserable and quit. So I kind of thought that he would like be on this little quest to make her miserable and she wouldn't know, but she very quickly copped herself on to what he was doing, which I like for her. She seems very strong, independent, clever, educated, good at her job. I like her. I'm loving his like friendship with his teammates. So there's like a really realistic banter between them all, and I like that. No mention of friends on her behalf at the moment. She seems to be very close with her mother, and that seems to be like the opposite of him. He seems to have like a very strained relationship with his whole family, really. I think his parents and his sister, because of there used to be like a comparison between him and his sister when they were growing up, like in school, and he was not very good at school. But yeah, so far I like it. It is quite an easy read. It's like a quick, nice length chapters. Like I'm on page 88 and that is chapter 11, and that's pretty much it. Romance wise, they're exes, so they have a history, and already there is like tension between them. There's a little bit of resentment on Derek's behalf. Like he is like still really not happy with how she had like how she broke up with him when they were in college, which is like so fair. But at the same time, there's a lot of tension between them. There's just been a scene in a kitchen where she was cooking and something spilled and a glass broke, and he was like golden retriever, picked her up, took the glass out of her foot, etc, etc. And then went to take a cold shower because he needed to. So I'm enjoying that. It's only been 25% and this is kind of already starting, so I wonder where we're going to go. My goal is to get to 50% today, so I'm going to continue reading and then hopefully check back in when I get to 50%. Okay, apologies for the jump scare. I seem to have lost my shame when it comes to coming on here and looking absolutely horrendous. I've pretty much just woken up. It is about 7:30 in the morning and I have just gotten myself a bowl of yogurt and granola and made myself a coffee because I need to do some reading. So I think the last time we spoke it was Monday and my goal was to get to 50%. I'm at 30%. So I have not been reading when I should be. I have been scrolling on my phone and I have been playing a lot of Pocopia, which takes up a lot of time. And I have also started rewatching Two Broke Girls, which is a random one because I'm not even sure I ever even finished that show. But it came up on my Amazon TV thing the other day and I've started watching it and now I can't stop. My plan is I'm going to read until about 9 o'clock. Then I need to go to the gym. Then I'm thinking, so a new Waterstones opened up in Dublin. We don't have, well, there's a Waterstones in, I think, Cork. Somewhere far away from me anyway. But we don't have a Waterstones in Dublin or the surrounding areas. The closest we have is Hodges Figgis, which is in town in Dublin City Centre. But I don't go there very often. And this new Waterstones looks absolutely massive. And I've been seeing loads of people's TikToks and Instagrams about it and I've been so jealous. So I think after the gym I'm going to go there to buy more books that I'm going to put on my TBR and take months to read. But book buying and book reading are two different hobbies. So I will then come home and I have to do a couple of bits in the house. And I would say that my plan is to read for the evening, but I am going to have to like cook and stuff. And I will probably play Pocopia at some point. But other than those two things, I'm pretty free for the rest of the day. So I just need to be clever with my time. I need to stop scrolling on TikTok. I honestly want to buy one of those bricks so I can brick my phone. So I can't be distracted by it because I have such good intentions. I don't want to be on it. But I just get sucked in and I just can't get off. But yeah, I need to get to at least 50% before I can go to the gym. I would love to get to 60%. I'm setting myself these goals, I'm not going to reach them. That's my plan. I actually really don't want to go to the gym and my Oura ring has told me that I need to rest, but I didn't go to the gym yesterday, so I need to. That's my plan, and before I go to do that I will give you an update on the book. I don't actually have much to update on. I think I updated at like 25%, so I don't have many more thoughts other than I actually really like the two main characters and I love the male main character, Derek's friends. I'm enjoying the story, I'm enjoying the plot, I'm enjoying everything. So hopefully more of the same to come. Sorry. When I say my jaw just dropped, I have never experienced this in my life. I was reading and was so shocked by what I read. I literally went, which is crazy. So I don't want to give any spoilers, but chapter 18, oh my god, not what I expected. So basically, when I'm only 40% of the way through, I haven't got to 50%, but I need to talk about this. So it's no secret that Derek decided that he was going to make Nora's life miserable, and then he's like emotionally mature and like talked about this with his friends, and he decided that this was like not the right thing to do and he was going to just fire her. So they're in Vegas on like a brand trip thing. He's doing like an ad for a soup brand, and he told her last night like it's just not working for him, like he just can't have her around him, which is fine. She took it on the chin and they like had drinks together. They're not friends or anything. He has made very clear to her that he doesn't want to be friends. She thinks he hates her. It's not because of that. But then they woke up the next morning and oh my god, I wish I could say what happened. I love this. I actually cannot wait to see where this goes. 10 out of 10 so far. Did not expect that at all. Okay, so I'm obviously stupid, but I don't read the back of books. I just read the books, and it says on the back the thing that made my jaw drop, it says it on the back. So basically, I can say it now, they got married. They woke up married in Vegas, which is an issue because she's supposed to be his agent, and obviously that's going to be a whole issue. So now they're pretending that it was a real marriage. So when they woke up, they were originally going to like annul it, and then she was going to lose her job, so Derek decided that they should stay married, and basically they're on honeymoon now, like a brand trip honeymoon, to kind of cover up that it was fake and they can pretend that they've been in love for years, and well, they kind of have. But anyway, yeah, it was on the back of the book. So yeah, one thing I will say is they just got to the hotel, which was booked by the agency that Nora works for, to try to like get in front of the stories and stuff. But they walked into their room and they were shocked that there was only one bed. I mean, obviously it's going to be like a one bed trope kind of thing, but why are they shocked that there's only one bed? They're on honeymoon. This hotel is giving them the honeymoon suite. Obviously it's like a brand trip, but yeah. I'm only on 50%, but I do need to go because it's getting later into the morning and I need to get to the gym. I'm gonna have to read later, but I can't believe it was on the back of the book. I'm glad I was surprised though. I love getting surprised in a book. Maybe they should stop putting that on the back of the book. I don't know. But at least it means I can talk about it now. I went to Waterstones and I hate to say it, but I was disappointed. I don't know what I expected in my head. I think the number one thing that disappointed me was there was no romance section. There was crime, non-fiction, fantasy, sci-fi, a little small like table of romantasy, and then just fiction, and then like new release and things like that. But there was no like just romance section. I don't know why I thought there would be, but I really just was expecting to walk in and be like in a romance book heaven. And then I felt like their selection, so obviously all the romance books were in like the fiction section, and I felt like the selection was not good. So for example, there were only 2 different Taylor Jenkins Reid books. Excuse me, that woman has written some of the greatest books of all time, and you're telling me you can only stock 2 of them? I couldn't find any Emma Lord, and I was kind of in the mood to buy an Emma Lord little fun quick little read, and I couldn't find any. There were, I think, maybe 3 of Emily Henry's books, one being her newest, Great Big Beautiful Life. Massive children's section. If you've got kids, I would actually highly recommend that one. Other than that, I actually just don't think I would find myself going there if I was like wanting a browse. If I knew I wanted a particular book and I knew they had it, yeah, fair enough. But I don't think it would be my spot to go for a browse. I actually think Eason's has a better selection of romance. Also, not exclusively to Waterstones, but books have gotten so expensive. I have been reading a lot on my Kindle and also books I already own recently, so I haven't actually went and like looked at the price of books in a long time. And a lot of them are over €20 for a book, which I feel like that's a lot of money. Having said that, I did buy a book, and it was one of the more expensive books in the shop. I bought Phoebe Berman's Gonna Lose It by Brooke Averick. I've heard a lot of great things about it, mainly from Sarah Crowley. And if Sarah likes it, I'm going to read it. So I actually saw this in Eason last week and it was over €20, and I thought that's a lot of money for a book, and I didn't buy it. But this one had a little €2 off sticker, so instead of being €21 it was €19, and I felt like when it was still in the teens it was more acceptable to pay. But yeah, I'm obviously not going to crack that one open just yet because I need to continue with my current read, which, as we know, is The Real Book. I am not allowing myself to get up from my wherever I perch, either on my bed or on my sofa, until I get to, what am I on? I think I'm at 50%. I need to get to 65% before I'm allowed to move. Then I can move and like do some bits, and then I'm diving back into it because I need to get this finished ASAP because I'm about to get really busy and I wanted to get 2 books finished this week, and it's already Wednesday, so we need to get reading. I love this book. I was so sure that it would be like there's one bed, forced proximity, they'd end up kissing and get back together or something along those lines, and the male main character, who has a terrible name that I'll just mention again, so I keep saying the male main character instead of Derek, he has just had like a video call with his friends and like is telling his friends that he wants to get back together with her and he's going to like pursue her, which is so cute. That doesn't sound cute when I say it, but when you read it, it is cute. It just wasn't what I expected. I expected it to just be like an accident kind of, but no, so cute. Hello lovely people, I have no idea when I last updated and no idea if I said that I was going to finish it and then update, but I'm not finished and I'm going to update anyway. I am on page 263, so I don't have that much left. This is how we're looking. I will definitely finish this today. I have actually just put a poll up on my Instagram for my Instagram followers to pick my next read. I gave 3 options, we'll talk about that later. I hate to say it, but I'm getting a little bit bored. I have loved this book so far, but I'm getting a little bit bored. It seems a little bit repetitive. He is trying to woo her, she is scared, yada yada yada. I never thought I would see the day where I was kind of looking forward to a third act conflict. Not a breakup. I don't like third act breakups ever, unless like something major happens and is warranted. But a little third act conflict sometimes makes sense, and I need one of them to do something or back out of it, or I don't know, I just need a little bit of excitement because I'm getting a little bit bored of them. This is probably going to be my last check-in before I finish unless something crazy happens. They're still in their honeymoon. I think it's like coming near the end of their honeymoon at this stage, and I suppose when they get back to real life that's when it's going to like pick up a bit because they've got responsibilities and jobs, etc. So maybe there'll be a bit more excitement there. I think the honeymoon bit has been a little bit drawn out in my opinion, and there's not enough happening while they're there because they're not in reality. Like they kind of like suspended their rules while they're in Mexico, and they're only supposed to be there for a week, but we've been there for a good few chapters and I'm kind of ready for them to go home and for real life to kind of take over. I never thought I'd see the day that I wanted a third act conflict. Am I maturing or going the opposite way? I don't know. Hello guys, it is Friday and I have finally finished the real book. I finished this one up last night and I wanted to just give my final thoughts and my rating for the book. So I loved the book, as I mentioned throughout the reading of it, up until about 85%, and then it just felt a little bit slow, a little bit, dare I say, boring. Felt like it was just like a little bit repetitive and there wasn't much happening and I needed something to happen. I suppose you could say something did happen, but it just wasn't really what I was looking for. I have some issues with the ending, or like when we were coming towards the ending. One being Derek just completely stopped mentioning his family and their existence, and I know he didn't have a great relationship with them, but like it's like he just forgot they existed. He got a phone call when he was in Mexico kind of asking about the whole marriage thing, and then after that they were just never mentioned again, which I thought was a little odd. And then the big thing, the thing that really annoyed me was Derek said to Nora, "Are you coming to the press conference?" Nora said yes, and then we learned that there's ages until the press conference starts because all the players are going to go get showers and everything like that. Nora went upstairs, read an article, and then sprinted through the stadium to get to the media room before the press conference started. And when she got there, it had already started. Derek wasn't supposed to be the first person talking at this press conference, so we know that it had already been on for like a good few minutes at this point. Why would she have been so late? If she had so much time to get there, why did she have to sprint and then still not make it on time? The timing there just doesn't really make sense to me, and I understand like she was talking to people and stuff, but it was made out that there was going to be like 30-40 plus minutes until this press conference started and she was still late. Overall though, I really enjoyed the book and I rated it 4 stars. So yesterday I knew I was going to finish that book and I wanted to be prepared for starting a new one today, so I put a little poll on my Instagram and I gave 3 book options, and they're all options of books in series that I'm reading, and they were all picked purposely because when I read one of these books it will get me to be either completed or caught up on a book series, so it will help me with my goals. I put up Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer, Tilly Cole's A Thousand Broken Pieces, Laurie Gilmore's The Daisy Chain Flower Shop. I was not that shocked, but also a little shocked that not a single person voted for this one. And I think it's just because it's not as well known, to be quite honest. So it was between these two. Personally, I wanted it to be this one, and they were 50-50 almost the whole way through the poll. But this one came out on top. If you know about me and Abby Jimenez, we've not been getting on. I've not been enjoying her stuff as much as I've wanted to. Maybe my expectations have been too high because everybody else raves about her. Maybe I just expected too much, I don't know. But what I do know is Just for the Summer is the last book in the little trilogy that it's in. It is also a bit of a chunkier book, and it is the first one that I'm reading physically. All the other ones I have audiobooked, so this one maybe it will be different, I don't know. But let's give it a read and see how we get on. Okay. So a very quick update on Just for the Summer. I am on page 80-ish, I think. And this is a very easy book to read, I will give it that. The past like 2 or 3 books that I've been reading, I haven't been like loving reading them. Like I haven't been thinking about them when I wasn't reading them, and I haven't been like, oh, I want to quickly do this so I can get back to read my book. But this one, I have found myself wanting to keep reading this. I kind of only stopped right now because I want to go make some food, and then I do plan on coming back to it. I will say that I think maybe me and Abby Jimenez were in a rocky stage of a relationship because I was listening to her books only, and I think maybe she is an author to read because I am enjoying this one a lot more, and this one can't be that different than all the other ones, if you know what I mean. So I do think that maybe how I was consuming the books was part of the problem. Having said that, I'm not 80 pages in thinking, oh my god, this is going to be a 5-star read, because I don't think it is going to be 5 stars, but I'm enjoying reading this one. It doesn't feel like a slog. And I really like how there's like crossovers between characters and places and stuff throughout her different, so they're kind of interconnected standalone. So some of the crossovers make sense in this, so like the hospital being the same hospital, that makes sense. But then there's like mentions of ones that are from other series of interconnected standalones, if that makes sense. I know that most people have read this book, so I know that a lot of what I say won't be spoilery anyway, but I don't want to get too into the plot just in case there's somebody who hasn't read it yet. I think this is a really interesting kind of premise for the background of the main characters. So a female main character is Emma, who is a nurse, but she is, I think she said it, a travelling nurse. So basically she does like 6-week stints in places and then moves on to the next place. But she does it with her friend, and I'm kind of sensing that between her and her friend there's almost an over-reliance on each other. Just for context, the girl who she lives with is Maddie, and from what I gather, Maddie's parents, her two mums, fostered Emma when she was a teenager. I think that's how they know each other, but there seems to be a bit of a dependence on each other. Like they do everything together. They have one car, they switch around who picks where they go next on their trips and stuff. They work together, they kind of do everything together, they cook for each other. I feel like there's probably going to be, if there's going to be some sort of a conflict in this, I feel like it might be between the two of them rather than between Emma and the male main character, who was Justin. Also, Justin's at a very strange time of his life. He's about to have to take custody of his 3 younger siblings, and I feel like that's going to add a certain level of complication to the book as well. It is a chunky book. Like, I'm 80 pages in and it looks like I've barely read anything. I'm actually way more hopeful for this one than I was 80 pages ago, because I kind of thought I was setting myself up for disappointment again. So far so good with Just for the Summer. This is the one that I see people talk about a lot. Yours truly, a lot of people talk about, and I did enjoy that one. I think, again, if I had read it physically, I might have enjoyed it more, but this is the one that I see people rave about, and so far for me, 80 pages in is the best Abby Jimenez book that I have consumed. I don't think I'm going to go back and physically read all the ones I've done already, but this so far is making me want to continue with Abby Jimenez books. Okay guys, it's been a few days because I've been busy and the weather's completely changed. I'm currently wrapped in a blanket because I'm so cold. I've just been crying because of this book, and one of my apps, Goodreads, is telling me I'm 45% of the way in, and Fable is telling me I'm 50% of the way in, so I actually don't know. It looks more than 50% of the way in to me. It's Monday, which means I didn't get this book finished last week, which I wanted to, but I got a different book finished that I was audiobooking, so still got 2 books finished last week, so I'm happy enough. This book I need to finish by midnight tomorrow, so it's finished in June, so that's my new goal. The last chapter in this book that I read, so chapter 21 of this book broke my little heart, like tears streaming down my face. I am like interested to see what's gonna happen, to be honest, because our male main character Justin is almost talking about in one breath tricking Emma and like not completing one part of the deal, so she has to stick around longer, which I really hope he doesn't do, because that will turn me off him and not have me root for him at all. And then Emma as well, she's got a lot of stuff that she needs to deal with. She does need to kind of face up to some of these things a little bit more and maybe talk to people a little bit more openly. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. I am rooting for the two of them so much. I think independently they have a lot going on in both their lives, and it's like so sad. And I just really hope that they figure all this stuff out and that they can come together. It's kind of difficult though, because she loves her life and the way she's able to travel and stuff, and I love that for her, and I don't want to see her have to give that up. But in order to be with Justin, she would have to give it up, I think. Like, I can't understand how they would be together and her not give that up. So that has me a little bit worried, because I don't want her to like lose herself in order to be with him either, because I feel like she's been through a lot and she doesn't deserve that. I'm somewhere between 45 and 50% of the way through this book. I am absolutely loving it, which is such a surprise because of me and Abby Jimenez have not been getting on too well, but I love this book and I finally understand why so many people love Abby Jimenez. Sorry, what the hell have I just figured out? And I'm actually kind of embarrassed, because I'm sure a lot of people figured this out at the very beginning of the book, but Emma's mom is also the mother of the male main character from Part of Your World. So Daniel's mom was Amber, and it's the same Amber. And then Neil, and I knew from the moment I met Neil that there was something that I should know, and he is the ex-husband of Alexis. So there's like a complete crossover, but like a crossover that is gonna have to be addressed in order for it to have made sense. So like Emma does not know that she has a brother, and like there was a whole like DNA thing at the beginning of the story, so I imagine that she's gonna find out. But I wonder, like, will the Alexis thing come up as well? I'm so embarrassed that I did not figure this out until now. Like, I am this much of the way through the book. Like, I'm like 60% of the way through the book, maybe more, probably. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I have 50 pages left in this book and I am hooked. There is something about the way this is put together. I think it's the plot of the book just never stops. It's just like kind of like drama after drama after drama, but it was also all set up very well. It's not just randomly happening, which is a huge thing for me. I hate when things randomly happen just because the plot was getting boring. There's so many things happening in this book kind of all at once, but in like a really chaotic life kind of way, and it's just so entertaining. And the fact that everything makes sense, everything is kind of making you ask questions but then eventually answering them as well. I have 50 pages left. I don't entirely know how they're going to end it in 50 pages, but I have to say it. This book is brilliant, and Abby Jimenez is now on my list of fantastic writers. Okay, I have just finished this book. I cried my way to the end, and I feel like there's actually not a lot I can say other than it's 5 stars, 100%. Possibly my first 5-star of the year. I'm not too sure on that one, but this book was amazing. The characters, sorry, I'm getting sick, so my voice is a little bit weird. The characters were so well written, but their development, not even their development, just like how we got to know them on like such a deep level was like one of the best I've ever read. The plot was absolutely amazing. I think I mentioned in the previous clip that it's like so full of drama, but the drama makes so much sense. I kind of didn't even realise that we were having a third act breakup because it just made sense for what was happening. Phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. Honestly, 6 stars. So good. Okay, so we have read 2 of the books that bring us to the end of a series. That's 2 more books that I can tick off my list of series I'm in the middle of. I think we started this video with 16 and now we are obviously down to 14, which isn't too bad. It's manageable, and I'm going to keep chipping away at it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.